So you downloaded Unity to become a game developer. Great. But do you know how the engine works? That's what we'll be covering in today's video. We'll start by creating a new project inside Unity Hub and continue by explaining what each of the different tabs inside the editor is for. Alright, without further ado, let's get started. Inside Unity Hub, we're going to come over to the top right corner and create a new project. From the templates, we'll go with 2D, and over here, we can give the project a name. And we'll set a destination for it. We don't need cloud saving or version control, and hit create.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Okay, here we are in the Unity game engine itself. From here, you can easily see the layout is broken down into 4 sections. Let's see what each is about. Starting from down below, we have the Project tab. Think of the project as a simple folder. It'll hold every file, be that an image, a soundtrack, a script, or a full-on pack of assets that you want to use in your project. From there, you move on to the hierarchy. Let's say your game has 10 levels. While the Project tab holds every file for all 10, the hierarchy will only list the ones you're actively using at the current level. That's all hierarchy does. It simply lists every element active in your game right now. Now if I move into one of my older projects, you can see it in action. These are all the things that are in this level of my game. And if we look to the right, the Scene tab will show us every object in the hierarchy. From here, I can select an object from the hierarchy, and in the Scene tab, I can move it around, scale it, rotate it, and set up my level. In short, the Scene tab gives you a behind-the-scenes view of your game, and you have a couple of handy tools. While the Scene tab shows us the whole scene, it's not actually what the player will see. That's what we have the Game tab for. If I go back to the Scene tab and from the hierarchy select my camera, you can see this white rectangle. That's the player's viewpoint. All the Game tab does is show you what the player will see, and of course you can hit play and play your game. So if I want to change the player's view, I'd go back to my Scene tab, select my camera, and move it around. Just like that. Moving on to the last tab, we have the Inspector. In the Inspector, we have these collapsible blocks called components. Each component is taking care of one thing about your object. If I select my player from the hierarchy, in the Inspector, we can see that first off, it has a transform component. The transform component is the only component that every game object has. Transform's job is to position, rotate, and scale the object. Moving on to another component, my player also has a rigid body. Rigid body is the component you add to an object to tell the engine that you want this object to have physics. Now if I scroll down a bit, we can see I also have a script attached to my player. So the way it works is that we have all these fancy components up here, but they only lay the foundation for us. For example, the transform positions my player at a certain point. Now if I want to move my player, what I have to do is to make a new script for it, and inside it get complete control over the position of my player. If you're still watching, congratulations, you learned a ton. And you don't have a TikTok brain. Unfortunately, this episode is coming to an end. In the next one, this one, we'll learn a lot more about the engine and the functionalities of each tab by importing the assets we need for our game and setting them up. That's it. Get out of here.